Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. Today I have got a warm reviews video of all of the 20 Bring Back My bars that are currently available on my website at Northernlightsglow.scentsy.ca. If you're a US customer, all you have to do is change the country to US and you can shop away as well. But I have warm reviews. So I got these last Thursday or Friday. I have warmed them all and I have thoughts. Some of my opinions have changed, some of them have not, which is kind of what we expected. Cold sniffs do tend to change on warm a little bit sometimes. Some of them didn't change at all on warm, some of them changed quite substantially. So, as always, this is just based on my house, performance-wise. So, everyone's climate, everyone's house is a little different. Just for context, my home is a rancher style, one level, regular height ceilings, about 1,400 square feet. It's not a big house, so it's relatively easy to scent in general. I did have windows open at times over the week while I was warming. I have noted that where I've had windows open, and if it might have impacted performance. But overall, that's kind of the situation at my house, so just kind of keep that in mind when comparing notes for your house. For the bars that were new to me, that I've never warmed before, I did let them go until they completely petered out. For the bars that I'm very familiar with and have warmed many times before, I did warm them and then switched them out after 24 hours or so, just to determine whether the freshness of the bar makes a difference. So with the ones that I've warmed before, there are ones that I have stockpiles of. I warmed all of these fresh bars. So even if I have ones in my collection already started, I warmed the fresh ones just to see if there's a difference between the scent and the performance in the fresh bars versus my older aged bars. So if there's differences there as well, I'll let you know. So let's start off with a strong one. This is Hemingway. I really enjoyed this one on cold as well. So this one was fantastically strong. This one filled the space very quickly. I did the full bar in my open layout. And yeah, this one's beautiful. It's like a toasty apple scent with some cedar wood. The cedar wood in here is not like hamster cage shavings. It's a nice woodsy cedar. Very, very nice. Kind of like a cousin to cedar cider. Also kind of a sibling or cousin to falling apples from last fall. I would say this is much stronger than cedar cider and about the same strength as falling apples, maybe a bit stronger, but this one lasts much longer than falling apples. Falling apples in my home was kind of like a 6 to 8 hour scent, very strong, and then hit a wall. This one went for quite a long time. So yeah, filled my open layout, no problem. I would say a 7 or 8, maybe even 9 out of 10, very, very strong. After about 12 hours, that apple note did dissipate and kind of gave way to more of those woodsy notes and even a little bit of the spice. There is spice in the notes, and I didn't smell it as much on cold. Oh, this one is so nice. And on warm, not as much either, until about that 12-hour mark. And it was a very gentle, soft spice. There is nothing overly spicy here. But this does feel to be a very fall or winter type scent. I really love this. This is going straight into my club. Love. So if you like woodsy scents, if you like apple, I think this one is worth trying. People say it leans masculine. I mean, a little in that it's woodsy, but it's not masculine in a cologne type way. It's masculine in a woodsy type way. So if you're afraid of cologne type scents, I personally don't care for cologne type scents, I love this. It just kind of screams unisex to me. It just smells like a warm, cozy home. So I did notice the second day, put this in day 1, left it going, came home for lunch on the second day, and I was like, it smells like there's a wood stove going in my house. I don't have a wood stove, but it smells like I have a wood stove going. So it's just kind of that woodsy, not smoky, but embery type smell on that second day. I really, really like this one. I did find on day 2 we tended to go nose blind to a little bit, but when you left and came back, you could definitely smell it. So I did take it out after 2 days, maybe 36 hours of warming. It may have been able to go a bit longer if you wanted it to, but I wasn't able to smell it when I was sitting in the room anymore. So yeah, I took it out then. But this one for me, performance A+, well, A. Performance A and scent appeal A+. Going into my club. There's that one. Watermelon Patch. This one is one I have warmed before. This one is 2 cubes in the office is what I did. So this one is very straightforward. It's supposed to smell like watermelon, and it smells like watermelon candy. And this one is very much like what you smell in the package is what you get on warm. No changes here, nothing complex here. This is very simple. It is what it is. It's sweet candy watermelon. So it's an average performer all around. It's like a medium strength, average duration, nothing super noteworthy about it as far as performance goes. Before 24 hours, it did peter out. I would say this is more like a 12 to 18 hour type scent at a medium strength. But yeah, when I went to check at 24 hours, it was gone. And that's kind of how I remember this being when I've warmed it before too. I have done this in my open layout before. It did okay. Again, just not a super long lasting scent, but very average all around. Scent appeal for me is okay. I enjoy this. I think this will be fun to mix with a little bit, but I probably won't get more. It's fine. It's just not one I need more of. But if you're really into candy scents or watermelon scents, probably worth picking up. White Sands. This is one that I really liked on cold. I do have a very old bar of this. It's probably like 3 or 4 years old. It's in like the old Bring Back My Bar packaging. So whenever that came back. This new bar has more jasmine to it. There's more of a like a white beachy floral note to this than there is to my old bar, which leads me to think that that floral note does smooth out with time. My old bar is very much the coconut milk and rice. It's very, very pretty with just like a teeny hint of floral. This one is mostly the white beachy florals, but it does have that very smooth like coconut milk scent. I don't get the rice on cold in this new bar, but I do in my old bar. But with this one lasted forever. So this one on warm reminded me of a show I watch on Amazon Prime. It's The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I think it's called. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's about this lady who lives in like New York in like the 50s or 60s. And she's like very wealthy, and her family like summers in this, I don't even know where. They like go somewhere for the summer, maybe the Hamptons, I don't know. And it's just like the summer camp for families and like adults. This smells like what that would smell like. This smells like what she would smell like if she was there. It's very like pinup girl, 1950s, beachy, beautiful, like summery, ladylike. It's so, so pretty. I really like this one. This one was a little bit heady for me at the start. The first few hours, we teetered a little bit with headache white floral territory for me. Kept it in though, because it was just kind of on the edge. And within 6 to 8 hours, that really did smooth out. So it became creamier and softer over time. This one lasted like 3 days. I did 1 cube in each of our bathrooms. One of the bathrooms has a window, one of the bathrooms does not. It did equally well in both bathrooms. The window is at times open, at times not. So it did keep up and hold up even with a windowed bathroom. Yeah, very pretty and fun. It's like fun pretty and like ladylike fun. Like it's just very, very nice. The rice and coconut milk on like day 2 and 3 got so nice. Like this became so pretty. This was a medium plus intensity to start, which I would say is like a 6 to 7 out of 10. As the days went on, it became more like a light medium, like a 4-ish. It was so nice. I can't wait to do this in other places in my house. I really, really like this. My dilemma for this one is going to be whether to club it or whether to stock up. Because I know it ages well, I might just stock up. But this one I don't really want to be without. I really enjoy this. So if you like Soak and Raise, you got to try this. If you liked the, what was that collection we had last summer, late summer, with all the coconutty floral ones? It had like driftwood and jasmine, and it had tiare and coconut. If you liked those scents, you should try this one. That being said, if you didn't like that collection and you don't like Soak and Raise, if you're okay with a little bit of that floral, but the idea of the coconut milk and rice sounds interesting to you, this one might be worth trying. Because like I said, I am very, very sensitive to those white summer beachy florals. And this one does have that, but it's so rounded and so smooth that I can manage this one, and I love, love, love it. So highly recommend that one if you're into like a summery floral, very like New York upscale vacation in the 1950s. This one's that, and it's so nice. So that one will be either a club or a stock up for me. Yeah. Next we have Fuzzy Blanket. This again is one I'm quite familiar with. I did 1 cube in my laundry room, and honestly it didn't do that well in my laundry room. It was super light, but that is not my usual experience with this bar. I had an older bar that had been aged a while. It was an old Bring Back My Bar packaging. That bar did very well. 2 cubes in the bedroom was nice. It was like a medium strength for about 2 days. This one was very light. Couldn't really smell it much at all. If I got right over the warmer and like leaned over my washing machine and tried to get my nose into my warmer, I could kind of smell it like a little bit on day 2, but it wasn't really scenting the room at all. Now that being said, it is a laundry room, so there is like, you know, washer whiffs and stuff sitting around, and like the washing machine just kind of smells like clean laundry all the time. So it is a scented room, kind of just by the virtue of the fact that it's a laundry room. So it could be that that was overpowering the scent. I also think this bar gets much better with time. This one is like sandalwood, lavender, and I think honeysuckle. And it's so pretty. If you like jammy time, if you like stargazing, this is one to try. It is lighter than both of those 2 scents, which those other 2 scents are very strong that I mentioned. This one is lighter and probably easier to work with if you're scent sensitive. I'm going to stock up on this one. I'll probably get 3 or 4 bars of it because I know this one does age well. It, in my experience, did not turn any weird colors. It did not smell off with age, and it actually got quite a bit better performing. So I'm going to stock up on this one. Like I said, I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of people saying they're getting great performance with this one. I didn't in my laundry room. I'm going to play with it more, but I do know for a fact that this was not my typical experience with this bar. So it might just be my bar. It could be the age. I don't know. But yeah. Next we have Rustic Lodge, and I really love this one on cold. So I did this twice. The first time I warmed it, I did 2 cubes in our bedroom, and I really just couldn't smell it. So most people that I've watched are getting fantastic performance from this bar. Like super strong, room filler, excellent performance. That was not my experience with this bar at all in my house. So I did 2 cubes in our bedroom, and I just couldn't smell it. Like I left it going for 24 hours, and like it didn't scent the room at all. Like you'd walk into the room and I'd be like, did I forget to put wax in here? And no, it was in here. I just couldn't smell it. And even like if I stood over the dish and kind of like did this upwards, I still couldn't smell it. I had to like literally get my nose right against the dish to smell it. That being said, the bedroom ceiling fan was on. So I thought I should try it again somewhere else where there's no ceiling fan. And so I did. I put this in the open layout, 6 cubes, and I also have an old bar that's very aged, and I did 2 cubes of that, so it made up a full bar. So 6 cubes of the fresh bar, 2 cubes of the old bar in my open layout, so a full bar's worth of Rustic Lodge. With that, it was, again, slow to build in the space. Some scents you put them in your dish and they just go. This one took a really long time to really like build, and it was very, very light. Now that being said, very pretty. What I could smell, it was like warm pine pitch or like warm pine needles. Very nice, very pleasant, kind of like cozy warm cabin, and like very beautiful, like not sweet pine, but like the natural sweetness that pine has. It was really, really nice. Nothing artificial here at all. This is very realistic as far as pine scents go. I don't care for Scentsy's pine tree notes. I really, really like this. This is much different than any of the other ones Scentsy uses. Again, I just couldn't really get a good sense of it. So I also found I went nose blind to this very easily. So even like parked right next to the warmer where I sit in the living room, I would find I just go nose blind to it really quickly. Some bars are just like that. You just go nose blind quickly too. And for me, this is one of those. That being said, if I left and came back, I could smell it still. So it was there. It's just, it was kind of hard to nail down. I did find it to be gone after 24 hours, so it didn't really last as long as I would have hoped. The thing is, I love the scent. It's just very slightly, like there's wood smoke in the notes, and that kind of made me think it would be like around the campfire. And no, not really. This is like pine pitch or tree sap, but the smoky note is more like when you walk outside in the fall and someone's got like, in your neighborhood, there's somebody that's got like a wood stove and they have like it lit and there's like a little bit of smoke like a couple blocks away. This is that kind of smoke, just like a tiny hint of like cool smokiness in the background. This is that, and I love this. I just couldn't really get it to perform. I did have one of the windows cracked a little bit, it doesn't really impact most scents when I have that window cracked. Maybe it does this one. I am willing to work with this one to make it work though. I really, really like the scent. I will probably club this for the time being and see if sitting for a little while and maybe trying again in the winter when the house is closed up tight, nothing is open, see if that makes a difference. But for now, the performance on this one is honestly quite poor for me. Yeah, if I was on the fence and basing this just on performance and I didn't love this scent, I would just write it off. But because I do love the scent, I am going to try to make it work harder because I love it. And it's so rare for me to find a pine tree scent that I like. So I am willing to work with this one a little bit more. I will club it. It may not stay there, depending on how it performs in the winter. Next, we have Love and Kisses Mini. This one my daughter claimed for her room. Now, this one is one that's getting mixed reviews as well. I've noticed many people saying they're getting really nice performance from this, nice solid medium performance, and some saying it's very light. I'm in the very light camp. Now, this went in my daughter's room. We did 2 cubes in her Disney warmer. Her room usually holds wax really well. It's like a smallish bedroom, like 10 by 10, nothing big at all. Not a whole ton of airflow. Nothing was open in there. Actually, I kept her bedroom door shut all day, just to keep the dog out of there. And it just didn't do much. Like, it was maybe like a 2 or 3 out of 10 when you walked in at peak. Like, just fresh into the warmers, like 4 hours in. Like, maybe a 2 or 3 out of 10. Like, very, very background. It kind of reminded me of the scent that her room just kind of is naturally. Just kind of sweet and pink and girly. That's just kind of how her room smells without wax. And this is kind of just what it made it smell like more. So just kind of that soft berry scent. A little bit of apricot. And on cold, the thing that makes this bar interesting to me on cold is that kind of like melted ice cream, like creamy vanilla note. And I didn't get any of that on warm. This on warm to me was just like kind of like a slightly sweet tart berry scent with like a bit of body care. It's pretty, it's fine, but it wasn't interesting or unique enough, and I couldn't really smell it well enough to make it worth keeping around. That said, my daughter kind of loves the packaging and she likes the scent well enough too. So I'm wondering if this ages well. I don't know. I did leave it going for 36 hours because that's how long you could kind of smell it. So 36 hours. And again, it didn't really change over time. It was just kind of like a sweet, fruity body care scent. I don't know, you guys. I'm gonna maybe buy like a 3-pack of this because she does really like it. And I think it might get better with time, but it's not one we need to keep getting forever. It's not interesting or unique enough. And like I said, that thing that I find unique about it is the creamy ice cream note, and I don't smell any of that on warm. So let me know if your performance with this was different. But yeah, in our house, this was just so light and just kind of not really worth it. I am gonna get a couple more because she does like it, but yeah. Not gonna be a club keeper for us. Next, we have Sweet Pea and Vanilla. I do have an older bar of this that was from like 2020 or 2021 when this was last available. I warmed the fresh bar though, just to see if it's different aged versus not. No, this one ages about the same. Like, my old bar is about the same as this new bar. I didn't notice it any stronger or weaker than my old bar. This one is a very like standard sweet pea scent. I know there's supposed to be raspberry preserves in here, or at least raspberry, and vanilla. I get no vanilla. I get maybe a little bit of raspberry, but like so little, and mostly on warm, it's just a very sweet pea body care scent. If you like floral, if you like sweet pea, you're gonna love it. If not, probably not. It's a good performer, like very good. Scentsy's sweet pea note in pretty much every bar that it's in lasts forever. So this one I did, how long did I do this for? I did this for 2 full days. It could have gone for way longer. My daughter wasn't a big fan of this one. She much preferred Minnie Mouse and Happy Birthday. And she was just kind of like grumbling about this one. So we got this one out of there for her, but it was fine. It could have gone days longer. Like, this one is a very long lasting scent. If you're looking for a bar that you can just kind of plop in the warmers and forget about it for like Monday to Friday, this will do that. Like, you could probably do that with this one and get like 4 or 5 days out of it. Easy. Is it for us? Not so much. Not so into the florals. I like it okay. I don't need more. But there are people who absolutely diehard love this scent. And yeah, it is a good performer. Like, nice solid medium strength. Nothing crazy blowing you out of the house, but medium strength for days. So that is Sweet Pea and Vanilla. Next we have Whiteout. This is one of the first ones I threw in my warmer. This one, I did 2 cubes in our bedroom, and this one did great. I had the window air conditioner unit going. I had the ceiling fan on. So where some of the bars didn't perform with those conditions, this one did. This one did great. This was a nice medium strength, oh my God, nice medium strength scent, medium duration. This one is mostly like, the mint here is kind of like double mint gum, like that old like 90s style gum with like the like metallic wrappers. It smells like that gum, not like Excel or anything like that. This is like old school 90s gum with like the powdery coating on the outside. The apple here, I would say, is not your normal apple scent. This is more like the abstract interpretation of an apple. A very cold apple. Like a powdered, cold, decorative apple. If that makes any sense. This is not a fruity apple. It is a lot of mint. You gotta like mint, and I do. I love mint. The apple here is sweet, and it's not really, like I said, appley. There is pine here as well, apparently. And it does, actually, yeah, I did get pine towards the end of the warm here. But super light and like sugared. Like sugared, like icing sugar dusted pine. And just like the tiniest hint. Like this was so pretty. This was cooling. We had gone to the carnival that day. It was hot. We came home with like borderline heat exhaustion. We're all sunburned and just tired and achy and done with the dusty carnival. This was nice. You just walk in and it's cool because the air conditioner's on, and this was like cooling the air, and it smelled all minty and clean, and oh, it was nice. This was lovely. I can see loving this just as much at the winter time as I do in the summer. So performance wise, about a medium, very pretty. And on the second day, the mint really tapered down. So the mint left over the course of 24 hours, and then you were just left with that kind of like abstract, sweet, appley note and this gentle snowy pine. And again, we're not talking normal pine or normal apples. We're talking that very like, not quite apple pine, but like the suggestion of apple pine. Average performer with very high scent appeal is what I put down. So it was about 36 hours, maybe 48, somewhere in there, 1 to 2 days, and medium strength. This is going in my club, like straight up. Love it. Just love it. In my club for sure, and probably for long haul. Next we have Southern Sweet Tea, and this one in my mind I kind of categorize in the same category as Watermelon Patch, in that they're both very what you smell is what you get type scents. So Southern Sweet Tea is peach, orange juice, and white tea. I don't really get so much orange juice. What I get is this like very sweet syrupy peach and like a little bit of white tea. This kind of reminds me of like the sweet tea that you would make, not from loose leaf. This is not loose leaf real tea. This is like the sugared Lipton stuff that is equally delicious on a hot day, but not as sophisticated maybe as like a peach loose leaf tea. This is the sweet syrupy stuff. It's fine. It's nice. It's sugary. It's peachy, and it's reasonably strong. I did 2 cubes of this in my office. It was a 7 or 8 out of 10 in strength, so medium plus. Wafting out of the office into the hallway, so it threw pretty well. Good and strong, but only for about 24 hours. 24 hours and maybe a little bit less, like a hair less, maybe 20, 24. But good. It's very what you smell is what you get. Do I need more? I have more in my stash. I won't pick up more than I have now. And this one in my home is open layout worthy. It does just fine in my open layout. If you had a huge open ceiling one or anything like that going on, maybe not, but in my home, this is very open layout worthy. Next, we have one of my all-time faves, so one I'm very familiar with. This is My Wish. This is Marshmallow Fig and Violet. This one, I had Beach in my ensuite bathroom, so I was kind of afraid that Beach, knowing I knew it was going to be strong, was going to bully this one right out. My Wish held its own. I mean, Beach was crazy strong, don't get me wrong, but this one did hold its own. So I would say it's like a medium strength, maybe like a 4 out of 10, like light medium towards medium. Almost sometimes has a root beery tone to me, especially in the fresh bar. In my aged bars, I don't get the root beery tone so much, but I do get almost like a root beer suggestion in here. Yeah, marshmallowy softness, sweet, soft, a little bit like feminine. As of right now, when I'm filming this, it's been in my bedroom for 24 hours. Still a solid medium, doing quite nicely, and normally this bar lasts me 2 to 3 days. So I always do 2 cubes of this one, and it always does me 2 to 3 days. It does make a mess of my warmer dishes. I love it anyways. I took this out of my club just for this June shipment, and it's going right back in because I never want to be without this one. So this one, love. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying they don't love this one. It is a very unique scent, and it's probably not going to be for everybody. But if you like marshmallow, like a lot, and you want like a grown-up version of marshmallow, this is your grown-up version of marshmallow. Love. It's kind of like boneless wings. Like, I'm obsessed with like chicken nuggets, but you can't order chicken nuggets when you go out for dinner. So you have to order boneless wings, and then you can just, you know, that's your grown-up chicken nuggets. That's kind of like my wish with the marshmallow. There's your grown-up marshmallow. Plum and White Woods. This one, again, I've had before. This one does turn a little weird with age. I have a bar that's kind of like going almost like a greenish brown color. It still smells fine, but it turns a weird color and gets kind of weird. I warmed the fresh bar, really liked it. It was a bit lighter than my old bars. Yeah, this one is another one that took quite a while to build in the room. But it did eventually get to like a 4 out of 10 in strength, which is like I would categorize a 4 as a light medium. It didn't throw, so it would stay fairly close to the warmers. So when you first walk into the room, you couldn't really smell it, but once you got like a few steps in, you could smell it the closer you got to the warmer. I gave it 36 hours. It could have gone another day. It was still a good like 4 out of 10 in strength. And I have warmed this, like I said, many times before. This one typically does like a good 3 days in my bedroom. So that one is good. It does, I would say, get just slightly stronger with age, but I wouldn't hold on to this beyond about 2 years because you might have issues with discoloration. So this one, I'm not sure. I really like this, and I probably will club it. Yeah, I'll probably club this one because I think I could do 3 bars a year of this and be quite happy. Yeah. So I would say it's really pretty and it's soft. So that's the other thing, is this is maybe a light medium scent, but it's soft. So it doesn't really like boom and it doesn't throw. So it stays fairly close to the warmers and it's just generally soft scent notes. I will say the plum note in this new bar was a bit tartar than my older bars. There is a bit more tartness to this bar. My other ones I feel like are a little bit maybe woodsier or sweeter. I'm not sure, but this one was very pretty. I really like that one. This is a very hard to describe scent. I think if you like just feminine, like if you're afraid of florals, don't be afraid of this. There's nothing super floral here. It's also not super woodsy, but there is like, I would say almost like a hint of like birchwood maybe would be the woodsy note here. I don't know if it's definitely not like a dark wood. It's not mahogany or cedar wood or anything like that. I would say it's like birch wood or birch bark or something like that. That's what I smell as the wood note there. Cashmere Pear. Again, this one kind of goes hand in hand with me with Plum and White Woods. They kind of belong to the same scent category to me. This like perfumey, like sophisticated category. This one, again, I've had quite a few older bars of this. This is sweeter and less gingery than my aged bars. And again, very soft. I did this in bathrooms, 1 in each of our bathrooms, and it was super soft, like 2 or 3 out of 10, very light. And 24 hours and then you could really barely smell it at that point. And so, excuse me. I find this one does better aged and in bedrooms. So I typically warm this in the bedroom and I typically get good performance from it. So like I said, this new bar, it didn't perform that well for me, but again, bathrooms are tricky. Sorry, my eyes are watering because I was coughing. Bathrooms are tricky, and this bar was quite a bit softer than my aged ones. So yeah, this is sweeter and less gingery. This one does age well though. My older bars have not gotten juicy. They have not discolored. They are just the same as this one as far as like texture and color go. So this one I can say does age well. So what I'll probably do with this one is just stock up on a few bars and not club it. I do really like this and I want a good stockpile, but a little goes a long way once this ages. You can get away with 2 cubes for like a regular size bedroom and do just fine. So what I will do is just stock up. Again, this one does tend to stay a little bit closer to the warmer as well. It does typically get to a bit more saturation than it did this time, but yeah. I usually do well with this one, but in the bathrooms, for whatever reason, it didn't want to perform for me. Beach. This one's been getting a lot of talk about being just super, super strong. And yeah, it is. I can't imagine anyone saying this one isn't just a powerhouse. This was like 9 or 10 out of 10 in strength. It wafted out of any room I put it in. I put it in each of our bathrooms again, so one in each bathroom. And when I had Cashmere Pear in the bathrooms, I kept that bathroom window shut because I know this is just a little bit lighter. So that one did kind of poorly even with the window shut and the fans mostly off. This one, I had the window like 6 or 7 inches open. It didn't care. It was still booming and wafting and doing all of its things. So this one you can stick in any open layout. I'm confident this could do even a very large open layout, even with like 3-story ceilings. You'd be fine. It would still do great. You could have patio doors open, you can have windows open, you'll still smell it inside. This one will keep up with anything. The thing I found with this one is papaya really did take over. And that's what I found on warm, on cold too. I didn't smell the honeydew or the coconut milk so much. I mostly smelled that papaya, and that continued to be the case on warm. That being said, while I really quite like this when I sniff it in the packaging, when it's like overtaking an entire room in a very strong way, I don't know how I feel about it. Like I'd be like just living my life and I'd walk into the bathroom and be like, whoa, like just, whew, not sure how I feel about that. It just catches you off guard. Like it's just so strong and like odd. The papaya is very odd and it just catches you off guard. You're just like, whoa, didn't expect that. So it was a little bit odd that way. I can't remember any other bar where I've walked into a room and been like just caught off guard, like startled by the scent. This did that. The other thing this did is I had this in our guest bathroom. At the same time, I had Painted Leaves in the laundry room across the hall. And I had, what else was going? Southern Sweet Tea in the office, again, just kind of across that way. So we had in the hallway this mixture of very strong papaya and very strong eucalyptus and leaves and very strong peach tea. And it was weird. It was not good. There are very few things that are just like bad mixes, but Painted Leaves and beach is probably it. Don't do that. Do not mix those. Don't let them mix in your home. No adjacent warmers with those. Bad times. But yeah, this was extremely strong. Did I get the foot smell? No. Some people say this is a little bit footy. I don't get foot. I do get something a little bit pungent though, and I'm not really sure. I think it's the papaya. It's pungent, but it's not unpleasant. It just, like I said, catches you off guard. Probably not a great mixer because it is so strong. You might be able to tone it down some with something, but you're not going to get a good balanced mix, I don't think, with this because it is so strong. By the 24-hour mark, this is quite faint in their bathrooms. It's still in there right now. I can't smell it anymore at 24 hours, and we are just at 24 hours now. So this, I could still smell not too long ago. So I would say like 21 hours probably for this one. One interesting thing is around the 14-hour mark, I did notice a almost like citrusy tone coming into this. Almost like orange or like, I don't know. There's no orange in the notes, but I almost got something citrusy and orange-like navel orange-like around the 14-hour mark. I can't smell it now, but yeah, this one is done. I never did get honeydew, and I never did get coconut milk. I got that very pungent, strong papaya, and then again, later on, I got something kind of citrusy almost. So, will I buy more beach? I don't know. Like maybe a bar, but I don't even know if I'll get another bar. It's so strong, and I don't dislike it. It kind of reminds me of like skinny dipping on steroids, but with more papaya. Skinny dipping is a bit more creamy and smooth and well-rounded, and I prefer skinny dipping, so I'll probably stick with skinny dipping. Beach is very strong though, and if you have an open layout and you like fruity summer scents, I do think this one is worth picking up. Happy birthday! This was my daughter's consolation prize for letting me warm sweet pea and vanilla in her bedroom for 2 days. She wanted this one, and so she got it. And her birthday is this month, so she gets that. Happy Birthday is a medium strength in my home, and I would say medium duration as well. Very medium average performance bar. Scent appeal, very high for me, but I'm a big bakery fan. It smells like cake. There's not much else to say. It smells like cake and frosting. Some people are getting chocolate from this, some people don't. I would say I don't get like a rich chocolate note. If I get any chocolate, it's like a very slight milk chocolate scent. because I've smelled other like brownie scented and chocolate cake scented candles, and this does not smell like that. This is mostly vanilla with maybe like a hint of milk chocolate. And I can't tell whether it's marble cake, like chocolate and white cake mixed, or if it is a buttercream frosting with just like a bit of cocoa powder mixed in. So it's not like a chocolate ganache frosting, but it's like a chocolate buttercream, because that's much less strong than like a chocolate ganache frosting. This might be like a very light chocolate frosting. I'm not sure if it's that or marble cake. I do get like a hint of chocolate. Overall though, performance, average, about 24 hours, about a medium strength in the room, and very, very lovely. We love this one. It's gonna go in the club for the long haul. Yeah, that one's a winner. I've picked up 3 more bars already because it's my daughter's birthday month, so we'll be enjoying that one. Next for bakery, Churro. This one is getting mixed reviews as well for performance. Some people are finding this just does nothing in their homes. Other people are finding it does just fine. This one did exceptionally well in my home. This one is just fried cinnamon sugar deliciousness and very quick space filler. So I put this in the warmers, did a full bar in my open layout, and within like 5 minutes I could smell this really starting to permeate the space. Did very well. I also did not go nose blind to the scent. So no matter where I was sitting, I hung out in here for a few hours that evening, never went nose blind. I could always smell it. And I actually had the windows open. So I had windows open on opposite sides of this open area. So there was a cross breeze as well, which probably should have made the intensity less strong, but it was still holding its own. My husband could smell this from the driveway when he pulled up. So he pulled up, there was a window open, he could smell this from the driveway. It was a boomer. This was probably a good like 7 or 8 out of 10 in strength. It did very well. It was gone by 21 hours. And I would say it hit quite a drop-off point at about, I don't know, like maybe 10 hours. I would say it hit a bit of a wall, but you could still smell it in the morning. But before 24 hours, it was gone. So 21 hours is when I kind of stopped. 21 hours is when I last smelled it with this one. But for a brand new bar, so delicious and did very, very well. Like a very good performing bakery. Yeah, I would say it was like a medium, but not bossy. So like it did get to like a 7 out of 10 in strength, which is on the stronger side, but I don't feel like it was an intense enough scent that you couldn't mix with this. I think this would be a very good mixer or a very good adjacent smells warmer. So if you put something different in different areas of the open layout, I think it would play nicely. This is 100% club worthy, going in my club forever. It did amazingly well. Love it. Yeah, and this one I know ages well as well. It does get a bit stronger with age even. So there's that one. Cherry Vanilla. This one in my home was strong. It was about an 8 out of 10. Did the full bar in the open layout. This one, yeah, I like this one. On cold, I got just like the cherry and like a bit of a toasted almond scent. And that was the same on warm. Again, this was not any different on warm than it was on cold. It stayed about the same. The ratio stayed about the same. I never did get a whole lot of that white chocolate ice cream. It was mostly that sugared cherry and the toasted almonds. The thing with this one is it was like a shrieker. This one was just very high pitched and like shrieking, if that makes sense. Like if a bar can be high pitched and just loud and shrieking, this was it. Like, I feel like if you were in the wrong mood, this could actually annoy you. It didn't me, I was in the right mood for it. And my husband and my daughter, this was their favorite bar of the entire Bring Back My Bar bundle. They liked this one the best, although I think my daughter might say happy birthday now. But this was a very big hit in my household. Is it club worthy? Not for us. It's very much a summer warm for me. But I have purchased 3 more bars of it to put on hand. Yeah. Dies off within about 6 to 8 hours to a light medium. So that very loud, shrieking, strong portion is limited to about 6 to 8 hours. And then it stays about the same scent, but in a much reduced capacity to like maybe a 4 out of 10 for the last bit. Last time I smelled it was at 20 hours. So that's about how long it lasted. Vanilla Suede. This one is one I really liked on cold and I had high hopes for. If you have smelled Terry Mugler Angel perfume, this reminds me a lot of that. It's got like patchouli, at least Terry Mugler has patchouli. I don't know about this bar. It's not in the notes, but I do get like tobacco and maybe some patchouli, more tobacco than patchouli, leather, a little bit of vanilla, but I would say it's more like sugared vanilla. Like when I make vanilla sugar, that's the scent I get on warm. I don't get that on cold, but I do get vanilla sugar specifically on warm, especially first out the gate. So this was quite light. Did the full bar in the open layout. I shut windows to like give this one a chance. It took a long time to build up, like about an hour before we got anywhere with it. Never did get beyond a 3 or 4 in strength, so like a light medium. And it was just hard to pin down. Like you could smell it next to the warmers, but only for a while, and then you'd have to walk around and you could kind of find it again. But it was hard to pin down, and it just didn't really gather any oomph. So day 2, I could still smell it as soon as I came inside, but it smelled a bit off. So again, it still smelled on warm like Terry Mugler Angel, but it smelled like Angel dipped in intensity, because Angel is quite a strong perfume. Like you can smell that one linger. I like it, but it's one that lingers. It smelled like Angel brought down in intensity, and then like almost like armpit added. Like on day 2, not on day 1, but on day 2, it's just kind of like I walked in and I was like, ooh. Yeah, I don't know. It smells like a cold weather scent to me. I would probably do this in bedrooms or small to medium sized spaces, not in the open layout again. And I do think this will probably do better in the winter with some age. I don't know. I really do like this one and I want it to work. It reminds me of like a warm tobacco scent. Warm tobacco, some suede. I do get like vanilla. I have a perfume this reminds me of as well. Not Angel by Terry Mugler, but a different one. It's like a very like warm, earthy fall ladies perfume. It's very pretty, very saturated, but I couldn't get it to like really gather strength. So there's Vanilla Suede. It's very beautiful. Jury's out on performance though. I would recommend small to medium spaces for it. Next we have Harbor's Edge. This one I did 2 cubes in the office. And this one was one of the ones I was kind of the least excited about on cold. This one has all kinds of stuff. It's got like fern, and like ocean air and salty musk and all kinds of stuff. Raspberry leaf or something like that. Yeah, it didn't excite me on warm either. I think if you like fresh scents, this is probably worth trying. I would say it is a smaller space scent. Even in the bedroom I put it in, which is the office, it's like a 10 by 10 room as well. Not a lot here. Couldn't really smell much of it. Maybe like kind of a vaguely fresh fruity-ish scent. It just didn't excite me. It didn't do much for me. It smelled about the same to me on cold as it did on warm. It just didn't do much for me. Performance-wise, it was very light. I would say like a 3 or 4 out of 10, even in a smaller room. And I couldn't smell it beyond about 12 hours. So there's Harbor's Edge. Not going to be a repurchase for me. But I think if you want a nice soft bathroom scent, this might be it. I think if you're really into those, if you like aquatics and you want like a softer, more complex aquatic, this might be worth trying. For me, it's just, I don't like aquatics all that much, so I'm not that excited by this one. But if you want a slightly more inland aquatic, like rather than just being pure ocean and salt water, this has like the grasses and some other stuff going on too. This is more like an inland aquatic. Yeah, it's all right, just not one I need more of. And performance for me, I did find quite weak. Ghostly Greetings. This was fun. I have bars of this in my collection as well that are aged. I did use the fresh bar of this one. So I did 2 cubes in the office as well. This one did great. This one we did 2 days with, 36 hours-ish, so like 2 days but 1 night. Yeah, that's a good one. This one I found the aged versions have more of the deep dark patchouli base notes, whereas this fresh bar had more of the berry notes. I prefer it fresh. I will say that. That being said, this is very pretty. Like this was like feminine, but dark and mystical and witchy, and I really enjoyed this. This made me want fall. I quite enjoyed this one. I'm excited to have a fresh bar of this. If all of my bars stayed this scent instead of aging into like the deeper, darker version, I would stock up on this. It does age well. It just does lose some of that berryness to some of those more dark notes. But it's only a subtle difference on age. I notice it because I notice those things, but I think if you weren't a big scent person and just kind of bought this, you'd think it smells about the same. It did very well. I would say 6 or 7 out of 10, like a nice solid medium, maybe just a little bit above medium, and nice average to slightly above average duration. So nice performer. I really like this one. I might grab another bar or two of this. I quite enjoy that. I think if you like woodsy, if you like, I don't think you'll necessarily like this if you like berry scents, but I think if you like berry scents and you're okay with earthy, woodsy stuff, you'll need to try this. But if you're just into like sugared strawberry, this isn't one I would jump to for you. That's a very like light strawberry or light berry scent. This is not that. This is deep, dark, deep, dark. Last one we have is Painted Leaves. I did 1 cube of this in the laundry room. This one, even with just 1 cube, blew the laundry room away. This one's a very strong bar. I would say use half the amount of wax you normally use. I would only do 4 cubes for my whole open layout, and 1 cube for the laundry room was plenty. Probably could have done half a cube. This is a very pretty scent. It's got like a cool, almost eucalyptus-y note to it. I would say like fresh yellow leaves, still on the tree, and it rained last night, and the leaves are kind of wet and stuck together on the ground, the ones that are on the ground, but most of them are still on the trees, and you're going for a walk. That's what this smells like. Yeah, this is very, very pretty. Don't mix it with beach. Don't let it anywhere near beach. That is a weird, bad combination. But both are very strong. I would say 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 in strength and long duration. I've done this in my open layout and had like 3 days out of it. In my laundry room, this fresh bar is only lasting 2, but it is a fresher bar, and it is a smaller space with just 1 cube. So with just 1 cube lasting that long, I'm pretty happy. So performance on this one, very good as well. So that is my thoughts on the 20 Bring Back My bars. Okay, if I were to pick out a 6-pack for you for open layout worthy bars, what would they be? If it was just based on what would do well in a very large open layout, I would pick Painted Leaves, Cherry Vanilla, Beach, White Sands, Churro. Again, your mileage may vary. This one's very hit or miss depending on the home. In my home, this does fantastic. Hemingway, really, really good. And Southern Sweet Tea. This one, maybe not for the very largest of open spaces, but for most open layouts, I think this would hold up just fine. That is the 6 I would pick for an open layout. If you're looking for bedroom scents, we have a lot here this round. If you're just looking for bedroom scents, here's a 6-pack I would recommend. And I would include Love and Kisses Mini, but I didn't because you can't include that in a 6-pack bundle unless you're buying a licensed bundle. So you can pick up that individually, or you can pick it up in a licensed bundle, but you can't bundle it with the non-licensed bars, if that makes sense. So for bedrooms, Sweet Pea and Vanilla, if you're a floral fan. Whiteout, love. Fuzzy Blanket, perfect bedroom scent. And I'd say all year round for bedroom scent with Fuzzy Blanket. I get like more fall winter vibes from Fuzzy Blanket, but Elizabeth over at Elizabeth Scenes and Scents was saying she gets more like a summer beach blanket type scent from this. And I could see that too. That's not what comes to mind initially for me, but I could see that too. Harbor's Edge, I think would do fine in bedrooms. My Wish, one of my favorites for the bedroom. Cashmere Pear, and Plum and White Woods. If I could only melt 3 bars ever in my bedroom, it would be these 3. Plum and White Woods, Cashmere Pear, and My Wish. These are like my 3 holy grail bedroom scents. Those are like great bedroom scents. If you're a bakery lover, you need to try Happy Birthday. Probably club it. And yeah. So out of these 20 bars, which ones are definitely going in my club? Rustic Lodge is going in my club. May not be long haul unless I can get it to perform better. But I do love the scent, and it's unique enough to me that I'm going to club it. My Wish, it's going straight back in my club and never leaving again. Happy Birthday, straight to the club, never leaving. Hemingway, again, probably going to be a long haul club bar. Churro, going to be a long haul club bar. And White Sands, this one I may just gather a stockpile of and go from there and see how much I warm it, but this one might be a longer term one as well. The ones that are up in the air for club, that are contenders, are Cashmere Pear. I'll probably just stock up though, because I know this one does age very well. Plum and White Woods, this one doesn't age as well, and I might club it if they'll send me fresh bars of it. The thing with club is, in theory, it's supposed to be a steady supply of fresh bars of the scent. Some people are finding that with some of the less maybe popular scents, they're getting like older, like 2 and 3 year old bars in their club for full price. Not going to be a fan of that if that's what they're doing. But I may club this and see if I get fresh bars of it consistently. And Vanilla Suede, this one's a puzzle to me. I know Sarah from New Zealand is sending me a bar in our swap here. It should be here any day now. I'm going to smell that one and warm that one and see how that does, because that one has been sitting for a few months versus this new one. And so I'm wondering if it will perform better or be a bit different. Because if this one stays like this at this performance, I'd probably just buy 3 or 4 of them and be good. But if the one I'm getting that's aged does much better, I'll probably club that. But yeah. So definitely a few solid, definite club ones there. And it's actually going to be hard to whittle them down, because there are quite a few in here that I could happily club if my club wasn't already so large. There will be a club edit video coming up later in the month as we get maybe towards mid-month, when I have to make those really hard club decisions and edit things out to make room for new. So be on the lookout for that later this month. Other than that, this has been a very long video, so I will let you guys go. I have got monthly empties and a June melting basket coming up as well soon. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.